What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 5 different Grayscale trusts in this video. We're going to talk about LTCN, BCHG, HSEN, GSOL, and GBAT. You know what? Let's talk about G-Link too. We'll talk about 6 of them. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Hold on real quick here. Just write in G-Link there at the end there. That way I don't forget. And let's get into it. This video should be relatively short. I'm just going to do some kind of like daily or weekly updates, right? Nothing too significant has happened. We're in the same areas, higher lows, relatively speaking, on LTCN here. The RSI does look like it's at a point where it would look to go higher. I would expect it to go higher. The fact that you have lower lows in your RSI here, but you bounced off your oversold area, right? You've done this before, bouncing off your oversold area. That does tend to bring some growth in your price, right? You did that here, brought some growth. Oh, sorry, higher highs. I got to sneeze. Man, that was a big sneeze. Let's see. Lower low in the price, lower low in the RSI. You do have bearish convergence, right, with these lower lows, but you didn't go anywhere, right? Like you didn't go, you had reasons to go lower, but you didn't go anywhere. You actually bounced and you formed a higher low here. I'm convinced that you probably have found a low and that you do move higher. Right, I don't think that Litecoin gets an ETF approved this year. If it does get an ETF approved, it's going to be like some kind of combination ETF. It won't be just Litecoin by itself. But I don't think, with how long that these applications have been in the process, I think we'd know if LTC was to get an ETF. So I don't think LTCN is going to get an ETF. I don't think it'll be attached to the NAV price at all. I think that it will continue to grow, which is really good because that means new all-time highs are definitely a strong likelihood by the end of the cycle. But likely here, when you break out, you'll probably resume moving at the same pace that you did before this like large consolidation phase here. So looking at this on a weekly basis, it might take some time, but I would assume sometime by the end of February, you are at new highs relative to this, right? Again, looking at this was a phenomenal pace that you moved up here, right? But even at this pace, even at that pace with these phenomenal moves, it would take you, you know, right there, that'd be like the middle of February before you're even at these new highs, right? New relative highs there, let alone if we started from this week, that's, you know, even a little bit further back, the end of February going into March, something like that, before we're even back at these highs. So definitely expecting that we move up here soon. I think that we will move up at a faster pace than probably anything that we've seen since April or March. And potentially even by the end of it, we might see a faster pace on this move than anything that we've seen all cycle. Like genuinely, I think that we will. But does that happen here? Whenever I say like after this move, does it happen here? Does it happen sometime later? You know, I don't know how it's going to look, but I definitely expect that we will pick up the pace here faster than anything we've seen since March or April, to the downside or to the upside, right? As far as like the pace goes, I think that it will be faster than anything we've seen in this time. And I think that the next target area to focus on primarily would be $27 to $31. You're at $14 now. So 27 to 31 might be good end of January targets, if not very early February targets. But I certainly do think end of January you'll be up there. So that's LTCN. BCHG here. BCHG. Closing the week down 12%. Kind of interesting, right? Because BCH, I guess it's down a little bit, yeah. BCHG, though, closing a little bit more to the downside there. Looking at this on a daily time frame, the RSI here is in a downtrend, right? You've got the lower lows and the lower highs, so this is suggestive of lower prices to come. Let's see if Bitcoin Cash, Grayscale Trust can reverse that. You know, that'd be nice if you could. As of right now, I got to be honest, this RSI is making me think you go lower. So I'm going to not trade based off my emotion, my gut. My bias toward this thing, I should say, is that it will go up. But based off the charts here, I'm going to say you go lower. So let's call for a 475 price. You're at 542. 475 and then up, because I definitely would expect that you bounce there. If not, if I'm wrong, get above 580. You get above 580 and you prove me wrong, okay? You close above 613 and you definitely prove me wrong, okay? But I think 475 is the next target. That's the doable target. And maybe with that, you'll have some kind of overall double bottom look, right? Oop, I got to go check on my daughter. I'll be right back, guys, okay? Yeah, hold up. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, so essentially, yeah, Bitcoin Cash, prove me wrong, move up above 580. If not 475, maybe even a little bit lower. You could even go all the way down to 431, get a true double bottom look going in here, and then bounce from there. It is possible, you know, Bitcoin Cash could move down. It is possible. I mean, I suppose. The daily MACD doesn't look the best, I guess. Stochastics are pointed down. 3-day time frame actually looks kind of bullishly set up, to be completely fair. Bullish divergence and all. I don't know. Maybe you don't go lower. You know, again, prove me wrong. Close above 580 and prove me wrong. I am calling for you based off of just what I'm seeing in the charts, calling for you to go lower, being emotionless with this, right? Being unbiased with that. But I'm kind of expecting that I'll be wrong. But sometimes it's whenever I expect that I'll be wrong, and I still call for the price to go in the way that the technical suggests, even when I expect myself to be wrong. That's not my expectation. Oftentimes, that's what will happen, right? It's like whenever I'm at this crossroads of what I personally want to see happen or what I think will happen based off my gut versus what I see in the charts, what I'm looking at unbiasedly, just can't deny it. It's what looks to be the next feasible move. Oftentimes, it's the charts that prevail. It's not my gut that prevails. So I am, even though I'm kind of not, I'm in disbelief right now saying 475 or 431 from here. Even though I'm in disbelief, I would say that history, at least in my experience, would stand to be on the winning side of statistics. Anyways, BCHG a little bit lower and then moving higher as well, right? I definitely expect BCHG will see new all-time highs by the end of this cycle. Whenever you do hit your low, I would expect that you see a nice bounce, and you'll probably be anywhere from $8.42 to $14 by the end of January would be the expectation. If I'm wrong on that, you'll only be higher, right? Not lower. And the higher you are, the better setup you are for February. I expect wherever you'll be by the end of January, which is likely going to be around $12 to $15, $12 to $14. Wherever you are by the end of January, that'll get you set up for February, right? You're not going to stop there. You'll continue to move higher in February. Anyways, that's BCHG. Let's talk about HSEN now. HSEN here on a daily time frame. I don't like the daily RSI. I don't mind it, actually. I don't hate it at all, actually. Your lowest points are very short-lived below the 40, it seems. Very short-lived. And your highest points are getting overbought. That's a good look. That's actually not bad. Right? Higher lows, higher highs. Yeah, I like it. HSEN. I like Zen too, man. Zen is one of those. Zen's a good one. I think Zen's going to do really well this cycle. I think it's one of those projects that's got like 100x or more capabilities left in it, right? So what's that say about this thing here? I definitely think that you broke out of this downtrend. I think you broke out of it and you back tested it for support and you're continuing higher. So you're just in your uptrend right now. As you continue moving higher in this uptrend, right, you're going to get closer and closer to this current like high of this cycle of the is it your all-time high? No, but of the cycle. As you get closer to that high, that's when you'll probably stop playing off of this range where you're going to go like ping-ponging up and down, right? You're going to consolidate a little bit more tight, and then you'll get a real move that's going to be stronger than anything you've seen, you know, since you started moving down here. Stuff that's like this, right? Stuff that's like that. You'll get that real move when you're breaking out to new highs relative to this, likely when you're breaking above $10. So the next expectation would be probably a basic extension off of this move here, high to low. I like that, yeah. $9.23 to $10, that's probably your next target, and I would suspect that you're there by the end of the month. $9.23 to $10, maybe even a little bit above there, but by the end of the month, absolutely, that's the expectation. So that's HSEN looking good. Looking frisky. GSOL. Well, I always click on the oil futures. I don't mean to. I want to look at Solana real quick. Solana kind of looks like it wants to roll over. It's not a good 3-day close it had there. And the 3-day, yeah, it's not a friendly look on the oscillators. No, it's not a good look at all, actually. Wow. Interesting. Wouldn't it be funny if Ethereum memes started becoming the alpha and Solana memes took a back seat. Wouldn't it be funny? You know, with this chart, again, ignoring my bias and just accepting what the data in front of me, Solana looks like it wants to move down to $153 to $144. So if Solana does that, I would assume GSOL at least matches it, and you're going to see lower lows than that, man. You're going lower, right? What's your NAV price at? Nope. 1386, and then as this drops, if it drops 17%, a 17% drop from 1386 would basically be like $2, right? So down to about like $12, just below $12. GSOL, I mean, that's not even at your NAV price, so yeah. Right, because if Solana drops 17%, GSOL is probably going to drop more than that, which would at least be like around this low, if not below it. I think you are going below this low, man. I think really you're just working your way down to your NAV price. Yeah, dude, that's not a good look. GSOL moving down, $20 is your next target area, but truthfully, 1281. If it wasn't for your NAV price being at 13, I would call for 1281 as your target. But if Solana moves where I think it's going to move, that would move the NAV price down as well, and that would allow for GSOL, I think, to move to 1281. 2290 now, 1281's on the board, at least 20 bucks, but probably you probably likely go lower, man. You probably go lower than 1760 is my guess, but that's that for GSOL. GBAT for nobody, actually. Technically for Tink, but she requested it last time. I'm just using the same list from the last one because I figure, you know, I always talk about BCHG and LTCN, but sometimes I forget all the Grayscale trusts that are out there, man. And I know that this isn't even all of them, right? We've got like ETCG, ZCSH, Mana. There's more than just that even. I'm drawing blanks, but anyways, let's see here. GBAT. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't, by the way. Thank you all for doing that. I get a lot of love on these Grayscale videos. I'm really grateful for you guys. I know that I haven't been making as many videos lately, but I do try to keep it at least up to 1 video a week, if not 2 videos a week. So you know, some weeks I can keep up with it like 3 days a week or even more than that, but most of the time lately it's just been so boring. It hasn't done anything. People aren't so much discouraged as they are bored, right? All the people who got discouraged, they left, or they're suffering in silence because I'm not hearing it. I'm definitely not hearing it as much these days as I was a few weeks ago. But let's see here. And again, right, it's nothing personal. It's just if it's being boring, if you're in the same place this week at the end of the week as you were 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, you know, like really like for a long time, it's not worth talking about really, right? But the expectations do remain the same. We're at 675 GBAT. Your next target is 1940 to 2451. You're at 675 now, so those are nice targets. I do expect, because BAT I think also looks rather bullish right now. I was actually looking at BAT earlier today. I like that look off the 123 weekly moving average here. Your stochastics aren't pointed upwards, but they could be by the end of this week. It depends. 3-day kind of looks bullish. The 3-day MACD also looks bullish. Daily MACD is actually in a setup where it's about to cross above the 0. That'd be very bullish. Bouncing off your 123 moving average, and the stochastics looks to be in a bullish trajectory as well. So all in all, good things with BAT. I definitely suspect it'll see some higher targets here pretty soon. Why doesn't it have all of its historical data? Like Coinbase, it says Coinbase had basic attention token before 2021. I know they did because I owned it before 2021 on Coinbase, unless I'm getting it confused with Kraken, but I don't think I am. 382236, next target area, whenever you break above 36.6 cents, your next target area is 70 to 84 cents. You're at 25.2 cents now. Yeah, it looks phenomenal, man. Okay, so sorry, I'm just getting this. I think you are moving up higher. By the end of January, I would expect you are above 33 cents. Okay. So if BAT's up like 45 cents, GBAT might be up, or 45%, GBAT might be up more than that. I could see GBAT being at 13 to 15 bucks by the end of the month, yeah. If not, certainly sometime in February, right? Around 10 bucks or higher by the end of the month is what I would see for GBAT. You're at 675 now, yeah. I certainly don't think that the end of the month is going to stop, right? I think into February is when this move really stops, and the true technical next target is the 786 to the 886, which is all the way at 19.40 to $24.51. So do with that information what you will. That's GBAT. Let's look at G-Link and finish this up, okay? GLNK, Grayscale, here we are. Looking bullishly charged as well. What's Link looking like? Linky. Bullish divergence, yeah. Nice bullish divergence there. On your monthly, or on your daily, sorry. And on your stochastics too. Yeah, that's a good setup, man. I think Link is in this kind of fake out kind of setup. It might go a little bit lower. That might have been it, man. Like that low right there at $19.13, that could have been it. That might have been your fake out low. Link's about to rip, guys. It's about to rip really hard, actually, I think. Genuinely. You could go a little bit lower. The lowest I'd give it would be 1842, but I think it really is about to rip. If it goes lower, then this isn't going to be accurate. It's only going to be higher. I think Link will be worth over 30 bucks by the end of the month, man. By the end of January, over 30 bucks. So G-Link probably will be worth something higher than this price here. It could go lower first. Again, be prepared. Next week might open up to the downside. But I would think by the end of January, certainly by the end of February, you'll be at new all-time highs for G-Link. But if not, by the end of January, you'd be at like 173 to 220. If not a new all-time high. So good stuff, man. That's awesome. BCHG and LTCN are kind of, boring. They're all kind of boring right now. But HSEN, G-Link, GBAT, those are looking pretty promising, right? I suspect LTCN and BCHG are going to have some fun in the sun here pretty soon. GSOL, a little bit of a disappointment, but once Solana starts kicking back up, and it'll probably start kicking back up soon, GSOL will move up with the rest of these guys as well. I just think as of now, the one that I'm most confident in that moves down will probably be GSOL and honestly BCHG to open up next week. Even this one might open up next week to the downside, but I got nothing else for you guys. I'm just rambling at this point. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.